Second time say your mother. The third time say your mother. The fourth time only, then he said your father. Now I have 5 kids. As a father of 5, if someone say, your wife is beloved 5 times more than you to your kids, I say, that is discrimination against me. But I understand. I understand the mentality of the Arab at the time who did not respect the mothers at all. So Prophet Muhammad wanted to upside down to change, revolutionary change, changing the minds of the Arab at the time. He said, you have to love your mother even more than your father. He said, Al-Jannah, the paradise, the heaven, rests under the feet of your mother. You want to enter paradise? Respect your mother. Take the key. Otherwise, you're not. And so women have been empowered since the beginning. And that's why Prophet Muhammad once, and this is just a small example, he was sitting in Medina in his mosque after Eid al-Fitr, after celebration of the end of Ramadan. And normally everybody celebrating happily. So there's a group of women sitting near to the Prophet, and they enjoy themselves, talking, chatting, laughing. And suddenly Umar was a very tough guy. He's the second leader after Muhammad died. Very tough. So when he entered into that particular room, those women suddenly became silent. Nobody talked. So Prophet Muhammad was laughing. Umar asked him, "Dear Prophet, why are you laughing?" And he said, "Those women." So what happened to those women? He said, "Before you enter, they were chatting and talking and laughing, and the moment you enter, they are just quiet." So Umar misunderstood that. Umar misunderstood that probably that woman respected him more than Prophet. So he went directly to the woman and said, "Do you respect me more than the Prophet?" What the woman said, "No. We respect Prophet more, but Prophet Muhammad was a gentle guy. Very gentle, very peaceful. Never say harsh word to his wife. Always gentle words, sweet words." And that's why he advised the Muslims, the best among you is the best to his wife, and I am the best to his wife. And certainly, ladies, there are some issues that need to be discussed here. The issue of polygamy and all this, you can ask that later on. Because I have, as I said, Muslims are so diverse. I used to say in this way, if you see 3 Muslims, you will find 9 opinions. So we can discuss that later on. But let me just go directly to Islam again, the 21st century. I think I'm optimistic that Islam will be very easily, adapting the 21st century world. And it is characterized by the advancement of the science and technology, the advancement of social media. You have Facebook, Twitter. Just last night, I woke up at night and I saw my phone blinking and said, there must be a message. I had to answer in Indonesian and say, how come you wake up at night answering my Twitter? That is the 21st century. And what Islam says about all this, Islam from the very beginning really encouraged the Muslim to be scientifically advanced. And I think, I don't have to be prolonged here. If you study the history, it is undeniable that Islam has laid down the foundation that even Western society today enjoy in the past. I don't know if you're aware of what is the oldest university in the world. It's not Al-Azhar. No, it is Al-Qarawiyyin. That is the first ever university established in the world by Muslims, and many Western scholars studied under that Muslim professors. And they brought that science into the West. The mathematician, the math, the zero, is covered by Muslims. It's simply unimaginable today about the computer, there is no zero. Al-Khawarizmi is known as Al-Ghurafi. And then we have chemistry, Al-Kindi, the father of chemistry. And then you have, who was the first traveler around the world before Columbus? Ibn Battuta, as the Muslims. Who created the sheep before anyone else created as the Muslims? My point is that when you come to the science knowledge, Islam is not left anywhere. China, in the time Prophet Muhammad was sent to Mecca, was the most advanced society in terms of industry. And what the Prophet said to the Muslims at the time? Seek knowledge even in China. Seek knowledge even in China. So if you see a Muslim say, just stay in the cave and hate other people, that is not Islam that we know. And nowadays, go to Europe, go to America, learn. And Prophet Muhammad says, seek knowledge from whoever it might be possible. So my point is that Islam doesn't contradict with the 21st century. The second, Islam is democracy. The question of democracy certainly is very much inclined to. Just I wanted to give you one example. The very beginning, when Prophet Muhammad died, he did not appoint any successor. And in my own personal understanding, the reason why he did not appoint any successor, because he wanted the Muslims to choose the best from among themselves. That's what Islam is all about. Shura, consultation among the Muslims, very, very essential in our social life. Religious freedom. The Quran says, La ikrah, there is no compulsion in the religion. And in fact, anyone has the right and freedom to believe and to follow any faith they want to follow. And if anybody forces anyone to follow any faith, that contradicts to the God, the Almighty. Because freedom from God. Prophet Muhammad said, "Man adha dhimmiyan falaysa minna." The Arab people say it in Arabic language. Whoever insults non-Muslim within the Muslim society, he will be my enemy in the day of judgment. So to say that Muslims discriminating against the non-Muslims, I don't know why it happened, but it's not Islam. Now coming back, the challenge for the Muslim today certainly is a lot. There are radical tendencies in our community, we have to acknowledge that. But you have to understand that radical tendencies happen to any community in the history, based on circumstances. There are upon a time where some Christians were radicals. There was upon a time when Hindus are radical. There was upon a time that even Buddhists, non-violent religion, called non-violent religion, tend to radicals. And these days, because of social, political, and international situations, circumstances, that force some Muslim to that situation, to be radicals. But in nutshell, and that's my last point, radicalism happens for many reasons, but let me just mention 5. Number 1, ignorance. You know, I went to Indonesia. There are some individuals in Barossa that say America hates Islam that much. And the question is, are you safe? Are you safe? Can you practice? There are some cases, yes, but America doesn't hate Islam. This country is solid in its foundation. I still remember when I asked Michael Bloomberg that why you defend it there, Park 51, the mosque that near Ground Zero too much. You are a Jew too. And he said, no, I'm defending that not because of your religion. I'm defending it because of my country. That is the value of my country. But there's some ignorance. Here in this country also there are some people who are ignorant about Islam. So we cannot afford to be ignorant to one another. And this kind of event certainly is one of the ways to minimize that ignorance. A few months ago, I had an opportunity to meet with Mr. Donald Trump. Because Mr. Donald Trump, you know, wanted basically to become a candidate of Republicans. And he was exploring a lot of things, and he was asked about among Islam and Muslims, and he said Muslims have problems. So I called my friend Russell Simmons. I said, Russell, can you arrange a meeting? And he accepted to meet. So I met with him. And the first one he asked is, how many Muslims in the state? My friend Russell said, how many do you think? He said, maybe 1 million. So I said, only African American Muslims, there are more than 2 million people. How about South Asian? How about Middle Eastern? How about minority like myself? So approximately 6, 7, even more million Muslims in the United States. And then he said, I don't know about the religion, I don't know about Islam. So Russell said to him, I'm a proud American. So it looks like this connection. And he said, why? He said, because Americans do not say anything without knowledge. In other words, he wanted to tell him, don't say anything about the religion if you don't know it. So my point is that even Donald Trump, such a very high, person, very well-known person, is ignorant about the teaching. How about the lay people? So who should I blame? If the people do not understand my faith, I don't blame them. It's me to blame. It's my responsibility to teach them. That's not what Islam is all about. It's number 1. So second is media. I don't have to talk about this. Number 3 is politics as well. I'm sorry to tell you about this, but you are wives of politicians. That politics in many ways. There is a discussion about relation between politics and religion. You have that right to discuss it. But to use religion for political interest is simply wrong. Religion is so genuine, it's so holy to be politicized in many ways. And so politics sometimes involve in making the people misunderstand. Text misreading our text, religious text. Sorry for a Muslim, there is a verse in the Holy Quran says, you will find Jews and Christians will never be pleased with you until you follow their religion. Now how are you going to understand this fact? This particular verse of the Holy Quran. Now we come to our Jewish friends. You have the issue of chosenness, and you have the issue of Amalekite. How do you understand it? Amalekite must be eliminated. So I asked my rabbi friend, what do you mean? I'm Amalekite, right? I'm a non-Jew, so you're going to kill me? He said, no. Amalekite means Amalekite attitude in the time of Moses. Those who reject Moses. The attitude, but not the people. So I say, okay, I'm not Amalekite because I follow Moses. So I'm safe. So it is about understanding. There are some Muslims and non-Muslims are so rigid and narrow-minded in understanding the Quran and other holy books. It's very, very important. It's a challenge in the 21st century. The next one is misreading our history. We always see the bad side of the history. All communities have shining and dark side of the history. Now, should we accumulate our attention into the dark part of the history, or should we go into the shining part of the history? In Spain time, Muslims and non-Muslims will have a honeymoon. But why we concentrate on the dark part of the history? That creates tension and anger. That is wrong. And the last is certainly misrepresentation of the followers. In the case of Islam, Muslims fail to represent the values of this teaching. So these are my points, and thank you again for listening, and thank you for your attention. God bless you.